now the country director of the David and Lucille Packard Foundation. The Program Officer at Children's Investment Fund Foundation. Joining them on stage is Sarthak Ranade, the Managing Director of Janssen India, which is a part of Johnson & Johnson. Of course, joining them we have Purnima Mehrotra, Associate Director, Evidence and Learning, Center for Social and Behavior Change. And along with all of them, I'd like to invite back on stage Mr. Sudhanshu Vats and Georgia. Please join us.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to show you a glimpse of MTV NISHED. Can we have the AV, please?
All right. Even though you're all the way there, but I hope you can feel the connection.
Yes.
All right, Sudhanshu, an internationally acclaimed social impact content creator. You have 5 funding partners, 5 amazing funding partners, may I add. A top-of-the-line Bollywood actress as your cause ambassador. The show will run across 2 broadcast channels and Boot. Does this type of content make business sense for an entertainment network?
This I said in the beginning as well, Glenn. I think we've always believed that doing good is good business, and Viacom 18's growth trajectory has proven that. So I think, I definitely believe it makes business sense, and that's the reason we are doing it. And we will be able to reach out through MTV, first of all, to the youth. I always believe that youth is the voice of change. And I think that will be a key trigger point. We are also going to carry it on Colors Rishte, which is an important channel which reaches out this segment very specifically. And I think, it's also a free-to-air channel and therefore has a, much more wide reach. And finally, we will also use it on and play it on Boot. And as you may have read today or yesterday, we are now 100 million monthly active users on Boot.
Wow.
It's a very, very strong platform. So I think we are very excited about the show. The glimpses I've seen of it, the work which is being done by Georgia and her team and all my team here with her, I think is already speaking volumes. So it's looking really good. We are very excited. And I'm
very excited indeed, absolutely. All right, I'm going to move the question to Sarthak. Sarthak, there's a shocking statistic. The statistic says that 1 person dies of TB every minute in this country. How much impact can a multimedia campaign have on such a chronic health issue?
Thank you. Yeah, and indeed these are grim statistics, I agree. So look, I think at the outset I first want to thank MTV, Georgia, for taking up this cause. It's very important to create awareness about important health issues, and tuberculosis is one of them. And we don't really speak about TB much in our normal life, so that's one. I just wanted to quickly tell you the tuberculosis story, and I learned from my friend. Storytelling is what we do, so I thought let me not make it very technical. I just want to keep it very simple. So look, I think tuberculosis, there's a huge burden of TB in India. In fact, we contribute more than a quarter of all the cases worldwide. So that's the grim and sad part of it. It's an airborne disease. It's contagious. So if there's a person with TB, he actually can infect around 15 people over a course of a year if he is not treated well. So that's also something quite sad and indeed not good. The other thing which we also need to know is tuberculosis usually strikes people during their most productive part of life. So we have seen medical cases actually peak when people are in the age group of 25 to 34. So that's again a sad part that's hitting the population which is the most productive. So that's why we felt this is a very important cause for us to be in, I'm so happy that we are into this partnership. So that's the TB story. Now, Of course, I've told you all the sad things, but also let me cheer you up and tell you what we are doing. So I think the good thing is, under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, the government of India is doing a fantastic job. In fact, the Prime Minister himself has said that we would like to see India free from tuberculosis by 2025. So I think this is the time where we all need to join our hands and help the government to achieve its mission. So what brings us here? Johnson & Johnson, as you know, we are the world's largest healthcare company, and we have got some cutting-edge science in our labs which is helping us to advance medicines so that we can ensure that people who need the medicines gets the best access. So that's one. Not just that, we build a lot of capacity along with the government in terms of the healthcare infrastructure so that every patient is getting diagnosed and treated. And that's very important. We can't leave even one single patient undiagnosed. So that's what we are aiming at. And I want to really thank all the partners here who are supporting this cause to make this happen. In fact, we work very closely with the government, different NGOs, and we would like to see an India free from TB by 2025. And we'll make a press release tomorrow about our efforts in this direction also. So thank you once again. Thanks.
Absolutely. To a TB-free India very, very soon. All right, I'd like to bring you in here, Anand. Anand, you represent the Packard Foundation. What are some of the key things you'd like the audience to take away from MTV NISHED?
So when Georgia came over to our office more than a year ago when we started this conversation, she told me about this idea, and she was based on their experience in Africa with MTV Sugar, which has been an extremely successful sort of global model of using entertainment to deal with difficult issues. And the question I asked her at that point is, I said, okay, you're going to talk about sex, you're going to talk about contraception, you're going to talk about love and romance, will you talk about abortion? And so she said, yes, we will talk about abortion. And that was specifically where the Packard Foundation came in, because while we work a lot with reproductive health issues, we find that there's a lot of stigma around abortion in India. In India, the latest statistics is that there's almost over 15 million abortions happen every year in India. 12 million abortions happen without going to a medical facility. So people are going on their own to chemists, to back of the street providers, because people think it's illegal, or because people think there's stigma attached to it. How do you make this a safe process? The answers are all there. Abortion is a legal process in India. There are trained providers. There are extremely good medicines which people can buy. And the safety of medical abortion is now improved tremendously from what it used to be 5-10 years ago, when you used to have to go to a doctor and have a clinical procedure to have an abortion. So we said it's important to start talking about the solutions that are present technically, but it's also really important to be able to use mass media. And I think the power of we've heard it many times, but again, I think we really do believe in the power of storytelling, the power of narrative. And when you can be part of something that is so mainstream, mainline, NISHED, Colors, MTV, a program, a television program. This is not a PSA, this is not a public service advert, this is not a health advert. It's a program. It's a program about life, about a real life situation. And when you can weave topics into that, then you have the potential to normalize issues like this. You can normalize conversations about this. And we do think that abortion is one of those really, really tough topics to try and get people to sort of say, it's never pleasant. An abortion is never a good circumstance to have. People will always judge, people will look down, people will question. But the fact is that in those challenging and difficult times, there are solutions, and there's information, and there's services that can be close to you and hold your hands through that. And I think that's really what we wanted to try and focus on through this program.
Right, a lot more knowledge around the topic and a lot more understanding around it too. Thank you so much for that. Biba, I want to bring you in here. The Children's Investment Fund Foundation also focused its support on MTV NISHED around sexual health and rights and family planning. How has CIF worked with MTV NISHED to frame this messaging in a way that's both compelling and mindful of cultural sensitivities? Now that's a tough one.
Not really, but thank you. Sexual and reproductive health, as we all know, is quite a taboo topic. It's not spoken about openly. But we also know that in India, sexual debut is early. So we know that 16 to 19-year-old boys and girls, and even earlier, they are sexually active, and many times with little to no information at hand. So as a foundation, one of our missions is to prevent teenage pregnancy, and we believe in doing that by making access to sexual and reproductive health information and services available through a combination of both digital and mass media. And through these platforms, we are not shy to talk about modern contraceptives, to talk about STIs, to talk about life skills, but we also understand that for young people and for adolescents, the reality is that sexual and reproductive health is also about taking control of your body, about feeling empowered to make decisions within your relationships. And that's what has made our partnership with MTV NISHED quite special. First is that the show reflects the lives of young people. So is it about a young person wanting to have an equal say in their relationship, to make a decision about using a condom? Is it about the intersections with other health issues like TB and anemia? And so shrouding some of these sexual and reproductive health messages, not just about contraceptives, but about the reality of love and intimacy, has made it, I think, resonate with a lot of the audience. And secondly, what makes MTV NISHED, I believe, so special is that it's direct, and this helps with a cast that is incredible. The messaging in the show is direct, it is bold, and it is fearless. And we hope that the young people and the adolescents who watch the show, that they also come away from the show feeling both being able to fearlessly and confidently make decisions about their own body and in their own lives.
Thank you so much. The point is always to destigmatize. There are so many things that we kind of have in our minds and we believe it's so. But through and with MTV NISHED, we're trying to break all those taboos, all those barriers. And I have to say thank you to all of you once again for doing that. I mean, MTV is India's #1 youth channel. And I have to say, good choice of choosing MTV. It's the best place to be. All right. I'm going to get you in here, Purnima. Purnima, I want to bring in the digital angle a little here. Along with TV and radio, a central component of MTV NISHED is its dynamic digital content. The Center for Social and Behavior Change at Ashoka University, you've partnered on the area of this campaign very successfully. Why is digital innovation key?
So, Center for Social and Behavior Change at Ashoka University, we work very closely with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and one of our key areas, substantive areas, has been family planning and contraception. And when we started our conversation with the MTV Staying Alive Foundation about a year ago, we zeroed in on concentrating on the digital medium and promoting the uptake of modern contraception among young people in India, primarily because we all know that services and products are all made available by the government of India, free of cost, to all young people, but discussion is very big because it's NISHED, because it's taboo. Why the digital medium? Digital medium because it allows a user, a consumer to decide where and what to watch, and also allows for a more reflective and meaningful viewership and consumption of the content. It also creates spaces for young people, safe spaces for young people to talk more candidly about especially taboo subjects like sex and contraception, which they may not be able to do in other spaces. It also provides us as sort of the people who are doing demand generation for this to connect our audiences more closely with their peers. So we are very excited about our collaboration with MTV, with MTV NISHED, which of course brings huge learnings from the very successful sugar property to India, and our effort is to leverage the characters and the storylines from the TV show and engage with our target audiences, interact with them more closely in the digital and social media spaces, amplify the messaging which is happening on TV, radio, and others, and also create online communities of young people to come together and talk. And as a learning and an academic institution, our commitment is always to learn from our projects with independent evaluation. And from this, we are seeking to learn on two very clear topics. How can digital and social media enhance engagement with our target audiences? And what are the strategies to promote online communities of people where they can come and discuss and engage more closely with each other and the content?
Right. Thank you so much, Purnima. That was very, very insightful. Finally, I had the lovely Bhumi right here next to me. Bhumi, आपके जो किरदार है, I have to tell you, I thoroughly enjoy all the characters you play, simply because I think on one hand you can relate to the girl that you play, and on the other hand you're just in awe of this person who almost always in most of your characters is very bold and very risky and how do I say? Like chatakedar. I really, really like that.
Dhamakedar. She's a
Dhamakedar.
Yeah, she's a girl who has an opinion.
Always.
You know, which is rarely seen on celluloid.
Yes.
You know, we usually show our women as very demure, you know, that are very submissive. But I think over the last few years, with the work that I and my colleagues are putting in, or the kind of initiatives that are being started, the kind of conversation that has started, things are changing, right? And even at the start, what I said earlier was, when I was told about MTV NISHED, I said, you know what, this is exactly what I'm trying to do with my films. And here we have a platform that reaches out to literally, I mean, as we all know, MTV is the largest youth platform.
Yes, number one youth brand.
Guys. And the reach is immense, you know, it's on digital, people can watch it whenever they want, and I think the effect is going to be very hard hitting. I said, okay, this is my way of being a part of the service that I want to do. So I was extremely excited, and again, congratulations everyone, because everything that you're doing here is so important. There are so many conversations that need to be started, you know, be it sexual health. Like, I have done films on literally everything possible that I feel passionately about. I did Shubmangal Savdhan, that was on a sexual disorder, and that was a complete taboo, okay, and then we've turned it into a film and it's had a very big effect. I've done a film on the poor sanitation in India, and we've really seen a jump in the open defecation percentage that Asia has seen. So I realized the power of this medium, and I think it's great that we are using it, and especially the topics that you guys are discussing, right? Like, be it sexual health. A girl needs to know that it is her right to ask for a contraceptive. She should not be ashamed going to a chemist and asking for a condom. They can't even say the word condom, you know, because they are so scared, you know. If, as Sir said, I mean, when I heard the statistics that Sir just said, you know, 12 million illegal abortions, you know, the kind of danger that we are putting our girls into, I mean, why should they feel ashamed? You know, when teenage pregnancy is concerned, there's no education. Half of them are scared going and telling their parents that, okay, I'm in this situation. We need to let them know, if we don't make the environment safe for our future generations, then we failed somewhere as a system. And that's exactly what we are trying to change over here. Nutrition. I have seen people that have been in my life, that have worked for me, that clearly are illiterate and don't have the right education, actually discriminate कि नहीं, मैं अपने बेटे को मलाई और दूध दूंगी, अपनी बेटी में पानी डाल के दूंगी. क्यों? You know, why aren't we providing them the same food, the same nutrition? Why is it that when a girl starts her periods, she stops going to school? Or why is it that a woman is not allowed in religious or holy places when she... I mean, there are so many things and so many stigmas and so many taboos that we need to break. And I really hope that this starts a very strong journey and we can just keep talking about things, because this is our responsibility.
Absolutely. That was wonderfully said. And I think we all resonate with it and we're all with you. And with the help of our lovely partners and supporters and MTV NISHED, I'm sure each and every one especially the youth, are going to understand what all of us are trying to say over and over again. All right. So that was it. I would like to now bring you back in, Georgia. You've heard so many things being said. We've spoken so much around so many topics that NISHED covers. Is there anything you'd like to add to, or just sum it up for us, maybe?
Okay, so I guess my hope with MTV NISHED, that what it does is creates a space for young people. First of all, ultimately to use their voice in the way that you just did, Bhumi, which was just incredible. But first of all, we have to get them to make sure that they have knowledge and awareness about these issues. So that's what I want with MTV NISHED. So I would ask all of you, I hope that you're a little bit excited about it. So now what you have to do is tune in. But the one thing I would say is, don't watch it by yourself. Watch it if you're parents with teenagers in the house, come and get them to sit with you, because the conversations that it will encourage will amaze you. It might embarrass you, by the way. I have a 21-year-old. I've done all of this, but have those conversations. And if you haven't got teenage kids, then maybe you've got siblings, or nieces or nephews, because we need to be cross-generational about this. It's not just about giving young people information, it's about all of our responsibility to make sure these conversations happen. So watch it on MTV India, Colours Rich Day or Voot, please. And then finally, just to get you excited again, I've got 2 clips to show you. We're going to clear the stage so we can see the screen. The first is a clip on, I think it's the first one, on tuberculosis and the stigma, not just that Vicky experiences, but also how he self-stigmatizes knowing that he's got TB. And the second clip is actually one of my favorites. When we were reading the script, this scene just jumped off the page and I loved it. And now that I've seen it here, I think you'll agree with me, it just feels like a very real conversation, a very frustrating conversation from Jyoti's point of view, and it's about a conversation between Jyoti and Raghav, one of our couples in this series, and they're talking about accessing the emergency pill. So enjoy. Thank you very much.